Okay, recently when I was doing my fights between Batman and Captain America, I did Ultimate Captain America versus Grant Morrison written Batman. And some people didn't know what I meant when I said Grant Morrison written Batman. Okay, Grant Morrison is, in some ways, he's just absolutely phenomenal, almost bizarre, over-the-top writer. But he does a phenomenal job with what he does. Or you absolutely cannot stand him and you think he overwrites certain characters. He did a run on Justice League back when it was called the JLA. So he was there for the Big Seven relaunch after like the Justice League International era. And I think like the very first arc that he did, a group of white Martians come down, parading as heroes, and defeat the whole Justice League and capture all of them, with the exception of Batman. They take out Batman's plane, and Batman's like, "Okay, they didn't capture me. Why? Fire. They're afraid of fire. They have to be Martians, just like John Jones." So then Batman essentially single-handedly defeats this group of white Martians who beat the Justice League in like a couple of pages. So he single-handedly defeated, through using his super advanced intellect and the fact that most people refer to Grant Morrison Batman as Bat-God. He was able to defeat a whole group of Martians who have powers similar to that of the Martian Manhunter. In another one, they had destroyed this object, which ended up allowing Darkseid the ability to kind of take over large portions of the universe. Well, the whole Justice League was defeated, with the exception of Batman and a couple other people here and there. Batman had decided to parade himself as Desaad. Yes, so Batman was in disguise as Darkseid's right-hand man, and was able to kill Darkseid with a laser pointer. Did he kill laser pointer? Yeah, he essentially did something that allowed him to shoot just like a beam of light, which shot the atom into Darkseid's eye and killed him. In a later story called the Tower of Babel, Ra's al Ghul breaks into Batman's computers and steals his protocols. Yes, Batman had designed a way to defeat every single member of the Justice League, pretty much in a couple of panels. So he had developed a hypnosis dart that would work on Wonder Woman to make her think she's in a constant fight simulation until she said she would die of exhaustion. Had some sort of bullet that put the Flash into kind of like a hyper coma. So you couldn't help him because he's vibrating so fast. He was kind of vibrating in between time, and he would do that till he died. He had different kryptonite that we used on Batman. He made Green Lantern blind, even though Kyle Rayner Green Lantern had been shown before to work fairly well without being able to see. So that's the sort of Batman. It's a Batman who has the amount of prep, design, and ability to defeat almost anybody. And in fact, one of the first lines that they actually said about Batman was, out of the whole Justice League, Batman is the most dangerous person alive. During Final Crisis, Batman gets kidnapped. They try to use Batman and I think the character's name is Lump from the New Gods to create a race of super soldier humans based off of the Batman intelligence. Batman is able to defeat a New Gods psychic-based entity, make his way past a small army of gods and soldiers, while inside Darkseid's main building after Darkseid has pretty much taken over the world. He then, using the bullet that travels backwards through time that's poisoned with God toxin. Again, I mentioned Grant Morrison does some really crazy off-the-wall things. He uses a gun and kills Darkseid. So under Grant Morrison's tutelage, he's killed Darkseid twice. And he's killed them easily in both times. Why? Because he's that level of prepped for it. He knows how to defeat every single person in a matter of pages. That is, when people talk about what is the most overrated thing, and people go, Batman in prep time. Because the idea of Batman goes into a meditative trance for 45 minutes every, I think, 2 days. So he doesn't go completely and totally crazy. So therefore, he gets to utilize roughly 23 hours a day, because I'm pretty sure he does go to the bathroom, he does eat, even though the way Morrison writes him, probably while he's eating, he's probably, got like a fork in one hand and probably, the new MacGuffin Deus Ex Machina device in his other hand. So that's essentially me when I say Morrison Batman. Morrison Batman had the ability to defeat anybody at any point in time, regardless of if you knew the person was going to come after him or not. So essentially, he went from having a utility belt to like a utility vault. Anything that he could seem to ever possibly need, he had somewhere inside one of his pockets. The only thing he didn't actually pull out was essentially like a Death Star, because I don't think he would need a use for that. If he would have needed a use for that in one of the stories, Grant Morrison probably would have given him some sort of, mini Borg cube Death Star sort of thing that he could have used to solve to win the day. So when I say Morrison Batman, what I essentially mean is the Batman who can do virtually anything at any given time, whatever he needs to, primarily as a major plot convenience, because he is the most dangerous man on the planet.